All right, welcome everyone to our daily analysis call for preparation for trading on 21st of April 2017. Just a quick disclaimer before we get started, if I can get it going. Okay, quick disclaimer before we get started. Trading is a risky business. Please be careful with your money. If you have questions about your individual investment needs, I recommend you talk to your investment advisor. All right, so let's dig into, we'll start off by taking a look at our Forex factory, see what happened in terms of our news today. The big one was Philly Fed Manufacturing Index came in as negative, and then we had unemployment claims, which were in line with expectation. Nothing much changed here. Consumer confidence number for the Eurozone was better than expected, so that went up a little bit. Other than that, we have Bank of England Governor Carney speaking. Not much happened as a result of that. So that was pretty much it for the news, kind of light. After Bank of England Governor Carney speaking, prior to that, we did see British pound pushing up, but after his speech, because he didn't really say a whole lot about monetary policy, as a result, we did see pound drop. And going into tomorrow, we have some important data coming up. PMI numbers. PMI numbers are always important because these are the precursors to retail sales. So these are purchasing managers' numbers. If the purchasing managers are buying stuff, that means they're expecting retail sales to come in positive. And as a result, so these are leading indicators. As a result, these are important numbers. So we need to pay attention to these. So this is for the Eurozone in the morning. And then we have retail sales numbers, again, important number for the British pound here. And Canadian, we have CPI, which is our inflation. Yesterday, we had positive inflation numbers out of New Zealand. And as a result, New Zealand dollar pushed up. So let's see what happens for Canadian dollar here. And then we have tomorrow, we do have flash manufacturing PMI numbers and services PMI here. But we also have existing home sales, but nothing in the red, so no red news for the New York session. And another thing to keep in mind as we are getting closer to the weekend here, it's the elections. So this is the first round of elections in France. And as a result of that, expect market volatility going into the weekend. I would not recommend having any euro positions open over the weekend because depending on how the elections, the results turn out after the first round, that could have an impact on the markets. A lot of the Forex brokers are actually raising the margin requirements for euro. So just keep that in mind as we go into the weekend here. At this moment, the polls, Macron is ahead in the polls. But, you know, that could change because we have had in the US elections, Hillary was leading the entire time till the very end. So there could be surprises. Again, Brexit, everybody expected the Remain vote. So we've had a lot of these political upsets over the last little while. So as a result, I would say be very careful with the euro positions. Okay, let's take a look now. So this is where we are. We were looking for price to move up the next, so 70780, this is where it came to. This is our previous support and resistance area. And above that, we have this 108.26. So it didn't quite get there. So now this is what it looks like. It did bounce off of this. Now we have a big pin on top. And going into, we do have red volumes. It looks like selling has come in, but this will still be the important support and resistance area. So 0700 is the key level that we need to watch out for. So for the last couple of days, we have not been able to break that to the downside. So at this point, this looks bearish, even though there is green on here on the candle, but that's a big wick. That's a big rejection. So looking at our 1 hour chart, this looked, I had commented in the room saying that price was looking like it wanted to come down. This is what I was watching. So this is where I thought, okay, likely maybe the price will come down because market was making lower high, but then it pushed up ahead of, I think it may even have been ahead of Carney. So price pushed up, and then we got this, this big, close on the 5-minute chart, and this is where I had commented that looks like it's going to come down now. So the reason I was looking at is here. So we have a double top, and then we had our pivot point here as well, the resistance line. So this looked like a nice setup, and it did drop down nicely. So this is this was nice. So looking at the 1 hour chart here, we have a double top here. Price was not able to break the 107.80 level. However, here is our 0.700 level that the price could not break the other day. So we had one push up, and then a retracement, second push up, retracement, third push up, and now we have a double top here. So the 3 pushes to the upside are done now. So at this point, normally, I would be looking for how the price would react here, which is what we're going to still do. So we may see price kind of chop around here. So we may see one of these here, price just kind of chopping around. And then this would be the key level here. If the price does not break this level, then we're likely to see the price go up. And it may not go up all in one go, but that's just for illustration. So we are likely to see price go up and test the high. And depending on, because this whole business with the polls will become more important tomorrow. So depending on how the polls show up, we could see a break to the upside. If the price breaks to the upside, we could see one of these moves to the upside. Or the second scenario would be price comes down here, breaks down here to the downside, and we are looking for a move back into this level here. So at this point, looking at the daily chart, this looks bearish from the daily perspective, but over here, this is a key support and resistance area at 10700. So depending on what price does here will determine which direction the price moves in. So at this point, we'll have to be patient with the euro and be careful with the upsets as well. I think the volatility could pick up here in the Eurozone, especially going into the weekend. So be mindful of that and watch that. But this is where we are. Based on the daily, we are bearish. And in terms of our support level, we are likely to go into this. However, over the weekend, though, we could get an upset. Let's say Macron does get a majority. In that case, we could see price come all the way to the top, and we could see it go into there. So that's something to watch out for, or we could even see it break up higher. So any of those things can happen after the first round. If he gets a large majority, then we could get an upset, or we could get a price move to the upside. And if he loses, though, we are looking for a move to the downside. At this point, I think it would be gambling to hold the position over the weekend. But for tomorrow, that's where we are looking for bearish move. Next target is 106.30, bottom of this candle. But again, what price does at 107 level would be the key. All right, so now we are looking at pound US dollar here. At this point, price is still holding this level. It hasn't broken the pin to the downside. So now this still is bullish. The daily close is neutral, but just the way the price is holding the high, this is still bullish. So for price to really look bearish, we would need to see a move to the downside. So we would be looking for, or we need to see to say that we are bearish on this, we would have to see a good solid candle close kind of like this, and we have not seen that yet. As a result of that, we are still bullish. The daily close here is neutral, very, very neutral at this point. So what that means is that we could pull into this 12700 level right here. And also, depending on what happens with the Eurozone could have an impact on the dollar, on the pound dollar as well. So bear that in mind, especially because we have the whole Brexit situation going on, and it would all kind of have the impact. So keep that in mind. Okay, so let's move on to 1 hour chart. So this is where we are. This was the initial move to the upside. This was the trend line we were watching, and this is where the price took off. So we had a big pin to the upside, and this is the level. Price came down right into this support and resistance to the breaking point where it took off. Now we had a very small move considering this one here. Not much happened today at this point. We are likely to pull back into this S1 level, 2770 level, which is our previous support and resistance. So this looks very similar to our euro here. So we could see price do one of these, and this will be the key. What price does at 127.70 level, if it does break down, we do have this inefficiency that could get filled. So we could see the price drop, and our first target will be 127, and the second target even into this level here, or 26.14. I'm not really expecting it to come all the way down, but what it does at 127.70, this level, which is our S1 level, and the previous support level, this will be key. And if we were to draw our fibs here, we are still above the 38% retracement, so it still has that bullishness in it. So we'll have to see what happens at 127.70 level. Just below that is our 38.2 pivot. We are below the pivot, daily pivot, but then the move again today wasn't very big. As a result, all these levels are quite squished together, and then we will have to wait and see. See, this 61.8 lines up with that 126.60 level right here, which is a support and resistance level here as well. So let's see how this plays out. But going into the weekend with both pound and the dollar, both pound dollar and euro dollar, there is political risk in those, which means there could be volatility in the market. So at this point, 2700 is this pin. So watch out for that. And in terms of the moves, we could get one of these, price holds above and then goes back up again. Okay, moving on to dollar CAD here. I think I was marking up my charts here. Let me just delete these. Okay, so here we are. This is the move we had to the upside, and price came to 13500 level, which is this support and resistance level here, where price has reacted multiple times, and now we do have a bearish candle. So as a result of that, we are looking for a price move back into, so price move back down here. So 134.50 will be the first target, and below that we are looking at 13400 approximately. So that will be the next target, 13400, but we'll have to watch how it reacts at 134.50 level, which is right here at the top of these pins and right over here. So important level. Let's see how price reacts. If we get a pullback right into this, into that level, we could get one of these, and then price could try testing the level again, break through it, and go to the next level. The target to the upside would be this 135.20, but prior to that we could see a pullback into 134.50 and then a move to the upside. Overall, though, it is still holding above these highs. So as long as it stays above these highs, we are looking for a move to the upside. But the candle today suggests that there may be a little bit more pullback. And if it breaks below the 135.00 level, then we are looking for a move back into this area. So those are the two potential moves we will have to look out for. The moves today were quite small in everything. Nothing much happened in the markets. So this is where we are sitting. If it stays in this level here, above 134, then we are likely to see another test to the upside. So in that case, we are likely to, actually my pivots are not here. Let's insert the pivots. So again, the pivots are a little bit squished together because of the small move, very, very small move today. So in terms of, here's our S1. So we could see price move down into S1 and then a move to the upside. So something like this, here's our support and resistance, and then a move to go and test the high there and a bit of a pullback. If it breaks through, then we are looking for 135.20. However, if it doesn't break through, then we could get a double top. Oops, we could get a double top right here, and then we could get one of these moves to the downside, maybe a break to the downside and a move back into the previous range. Okay, so here we are. So we'll keep those levels there. So let's see how that goes. Again, this was a trade I was marking up. Let's go to the daily here. Okay, so in terms of the Aussie, this is where we are. In the candle here is bullish, and we do have a wick on the top, which makes it slightly neutral. So at this point, we are looking for the trading of this range, and I think everything may be volatile. Anything that's dollar related may be volatile going into the weekend, even though it's not directly related to the euro here. Aussie and New Zealand are not directly related to euro, but because of the inflow, the money flowing in and out of the US dollar, it could have an impact on these as well. So at this point, we are looking for upside of 75.50, and in the bottom here we are looking for 74.80 level. So we're going to trade this as a range bound market, or we're going to look at it as a range bound market here. Going to the 1 hour chart, this is where we are. Price came and tested this, couldn't really make it to the 50 level, just came below that, and then we are moving to the downside here. This is where we are. We do have a bearish candle here, so not a big move for today. So let's take our fibs from the top. Here we are. And then this is our inefficiency that hasn't completely gotten filled. We did come to this breaking point where the price moved through. And now here we are. We have rejected the 50% or below the 50% fib level. So at this point, we could come all the way back down here. And then 127 looks a little low. So not really expecting it to go down that low. We're just expecting, I'm looking for this level here, this support and resistance. So 74.80 level is really what I'm looking for here. And to the upside 75.50. So I think we may stay range bound here between 74.80 and 75.50 level. So here's our, here the fibs don't really do much here. Okay, so going back to the daily, this is what it looks like. So we'll trade this as a range bound. New Zealand dollar. So we had this big pin bar here, which showed rejection. And now we did struggle with this 70700 level. And now we have broken below this level. So this one, my bias here is to the downside on the New Zealand, because we have rejected this level 3 times and now we are going lower. So this is bearish, so the bias would be for the price to trade to the downside. The target level would be 69.20 here. We are sitting at about 69.93. The next target we'd be looking at would be at 69.20. So bias definitely to the downside here. We had this move based on our inflation yesterday, inflation numbers that came out, and now, so we did try to push up higher here when the price tested the highs and then failed. So 70.50 level failed, and now we are moving down here. Our first, so this is where we have support and resistance level. Once the price breaks through this level, then we could see this inefficiency get filled. So 69.20 would be the target in that case. So the move that we would be looking for would be something like this. Once the price breaks down, holds below this level, this support here could become resistance. And then we are basically looking for a move, something like this, move to the downside. Maybe not a sharp drop, but just a move to the downside, because this inefficiency will become open once we pass this 69.80 level to the downside here, once the price starts trading below. So this is the kind of price behavior we are looking for on this side. So there may be a lot of this kind of, holding below the level and then a move to the downside. I'm not really expecting a sharp move. This type of price behavior right here, if it does that, then we are looking for a move to the downside. However, if it does this price behavior above the level here, this support level, then we are likely to see a move back in. So over the last 1, 2, 3, 4 days, it has been range bound, and we could get another range bound day into Friday tomorrow with all the political drama that's going on. So with all of these, I would suggest being careful. Based on the daily, though, I am looking for a move to the downside. However, 69.80 is a good support and resistance level, and it could hold. So keep that in mind, but the target here would be 69.20 to the downside. Any questions or any other pair that we need to look at? Aussie New Zealand, let's take a look at what's going on with our Aussie New Zealand. Okay, so Aussie New Zealand, it has moved, actually, unfortunately, it has moved higher up here. Our stop is way up there. So at this point, so we had a nice bullish, bearish pin bar here, and it did not hold. So right now, New Zealand looks more bearish than Aussie does at this moment. So it came into this support level, this pin here, and rejected the pin. And it has since, there was a bit of a profit, but then it's up here. We did have a good entry all the way up here, which is good, but this is not, so this looks bearish, this looks bullish now, which means we could see another move to the upside. So I'd be looking to get out of it now. Yeah, so this does look, so this is what happens here. So we had a higher low and price came in here. This was a good supporter. This was a good 1 hour bearish pin bar. But again, every time it needs to contend with the support, it could go either way. So here it was not able to break below the low. If it holds above, then chances are it would go to the next support and resistance area, which is right here. So at this point, we are into this support, this resistance area. If it holds below, then it could come back and do the same thing on the other side. So it could potentially do this and then drop. However, looking at the current price, so we'll have to keep an eye on this one. So looking at the current price, New Zealand looked more bearish than Aussie did. So let's go take a look here. Here's our New Zealand on the daily, and here's our Aussie. So Aussie is very small here, short candle, and New Zealand is bigger. So at this point, I would monitor this. And if it does not hold below, here, below this pin here, if it starts to go back up, then it could break through. If it breaks through the support, it's, you know, it's going to go to the next level then. So right now it's broken the high. It is pulling back, so it will depend. Will it be able to break through this level? If it pulls back into this level, I'd just be looking to get out of this trade, because if it doesn't break 107.20 level here, chances are that it's going to go higher. CAD yen, let's take a look. Where is pound yen, CAD yen? Oh, ugly charts. Let me pull up the new chart. Okay, here we are. Yen has been very interesting. Yen is, okay, the close of the day has been bullish. So based on the daily close, this looks bullish. So let's see where we are. So here's the support and resistance, this pin that the price reacted at the moment. It looks bullish. So let's see, where could it go? All right. Here's our 1 hour. So we are into resistance here. Okay, so the last 2 days has been sideways move. Again, so right now it looks range bound. So we need to see the price break either up or, so it has to break out of the range. Based on the daily, that's bullish. It closed way up there, so which means we could see the price move higher. However, I would wait and look for a break first and then a retest to go up. And the next target, in terms of the target, this looks good. 81.93, so that's a good target. It's about 82. So there's room for price to move up higher. However, the break of this level will be important, and likely we would run into trouble somewhere around here. So there's a bit of a zone here. So around 81.50 level, we could run into trouble here. So I would watch out for price reaction at this level. This is kind of the internal support and resistance here. So here it is holding the highs at the moment. So if it breaks to the upside and this becomes the resistance here becomes support, we could see the price go up first to 81.50 and then to 82. But the key will be the break of the range here to the upside. So that's what I would watch out for. For now, it is doing a bit of a triangle here. So price is pushing kind of higher, but I would wait for price to break out and then take it, because what could happen is price gives, right now it's right into resistance. So price could do one of these and then come back into the range somewhere in the middle here. So that, to kind of avoid that scenario, it would be better to watch for the break. Price could do sort of one of these, break up, do a back test. So time to buy would be here, and looking for 81.50, then 8200 to the upside. Let's take a look at dollar yen here as well. So yeah, dollar yen looks bullish. So price did come down here, and then we had this neutral, bullish to neutral candle. Now we have a bullish candle. So in dollar yen, we are looking for that level there, 110.20 area, approximately in there. So we have this here. So that would be the level. But before then, we do have 109.80 level, and then 110.20 here. So this looks bullish. And so the yen pairs do tend to kind of go together. Let's take a look at, that looks very bullish. So we did have a nice pin bar, did not play out. So the technical setups, you know, there are times when the trade setup will fail. It will look very good. It looks good. There's a nice pin bar, but the setup will fail. So this is the same scenario that we could have in British pound here. So price goes up and then hangs around, holds the high. Then we get a bullish close and price moves higher. So at this point, we are into the resistance. The price looks very bullish based on daily. So we could see price move up. It has to break the high though. I would wait for it to break the high at 140.20, and then we're looking at this 140.82, which is quite far actually. So before then, 141.20 area would be the closer one. So here's our 1 hour price. See how price is holding the high here, which means it could go up. So price could go up and hold this up here and then go to the next level. So right now it is trading up, and we have this bit of a trend line going as well. So looks bullish. So all the yen crosses are looking bullish. Since we are here, let's take a look at Aussie yen. Bullish close on the day as well. We are into this resistance level. So a lot of these pairs, we are into resistance levels. So based on the daily here, we are looking bullish, and 82, about 8,300 would be the next target. But again, waiting for 82.50 to break here. So right now it is pulling back. So we'd have to wait for price to break this level. So that level has to be broken for it to continue higher, because once this level here is broken, we have this inefficient move that could get filled. But till that, so that has to happen first before it starts to go higher. Or we may see the price come into this level here, so 8,200. 82.00. So if it holds here, then it could go up higher as well. So this could be another potential level for a potential long. This was very nice. This was actually an inverse head and shoulders pattern here as well. I was marking it up yesterday, but I was waiting to see if the pattern here would complete. So this was a good good level. So it did go here, and now we have price pulling back. It could come into this 82. If it holds above, then we are likely to see another move to the upside. But again, it would also depend on what Aussie dollar is doing. But the close here is bullish, so we could get a pullback and then a move to the upside. So all the Aussie pairs are looking a bit bullish. Any other charts we need to look at? Does that make sense? Any questions about that? All right, so I guess that's a no. Perfect. All right, so we will call it a wrap for our call today. Tomorrow we don't have a trade room, but we do have our session tomorrow morning, our members only session. So we'll do that. So I'll see you guys at 7:30 a.m. Eastern tomorrow morning. But feel free to use the chat room, and if you want to share ideas, feel free to post in there and talk to each other. That's, of course, it's open all the time. We'll call it a wrap, and I will see you guys tomorrow.